STR News and Digest. In this episode, we're going to be covering some STR market trends, a United Airlines rumor, and our new website launch for Dream Vacations. So super excited about that. So let's go ahead and before we begin, let me once again thank those of you that are watching live. In fact, let me see if I can set this up over here so I can see who is on. One quick second. Let's see something. All right, so let's see. First of all, if you're on, thank you for being on. If you have any questions or comments, list them, and I'll try to get to them. I don't have my staff today. They're actually right now doing some nice videos of Envigado or Medellin, but the Envigado area that we're going to be posting on our social media. Some beautiful locations, right? But if you're not subscribed to either my Instagram or my YouTube channel, highly recommend you do. We're going to be posting a lot of nice videos as it relates to travel and specifically Colombia. But today, let's dive right into the very first topic that I want to touch on, and that is the STR market itself. I just finished reading a recent report by AirDNA that has highlighted a shift in where investors are putting their money, right? And that shift, in this report, they talked about how more and more investors, including myself, if you follow the channel, you're going to see that what I've been doing is following this trend. And I knew it from a personal standpoint, but now these numbers prove it, right? More people are shifting towards investing in small, rural, or mid-sized cities. Now, in this industry, or in the short-term rental industry, we call it the secondary market. There's a lot of reasons why investors are jumping into the secondary market. I'm going to touch on two very important factors that are attributing to this shift. On a side note, I just did a reactionary video to a podcast that Pace Morby and Bill Faith did, and they too talk about the secondary market. Now, regardless of the fact, or it doesn't matter if you guys know who Pace Morby is or Bill Faith is, I highly recommend that you watch the video that's going to air on Wednesday, because it's going to have a lot of valuable information about the short-term rental industry. So if you are an operator or you're thinking about investing in short-term rentals, then that video that's going to come out on Wednesday, I highly recommend you watch it. Now, going on with this, here's what this report stated. There in 2024, the secondary market saw a 16% increase in terms of demand of travel. And one of the reasons, or going back as to why investors are investing in this, number one is the demand. Demand is huge for these secondary markets. But number two, because of two very important reasons: affordability and regulations. I've been talking about regulations, and I'm going to talk more about regulations in a second. But affordability is really important right now if you're an investor, right? So in primary markets, and let's talk about South Florida. We can also talk about Europe, like Spain, Madrid, Barcelona, etc. In these primary markets, to purchase a property today, it's expensive. Interest rates are high. Insurance is high. So to get into these markets, you're going to be paying more. And because of oversaturation in the STR market, the profitability or your return on your investment is not as high as it was prior to 2023. I've always, I've been talking about the anomaly years of 2020, 2021, and 2022. Those were phenomenal years for people in the short-term rental industry. But let's take it back to prior to 2020, right? Like 2019 and later. Back then, it was still very good. These primary markets were still very good to invest in because the entry point was low. So, for example, back then, I was buying properties in the $200,000 and $300,000 range in South Florida. You can't buy an apartment or a studio for $200,000, $300,000 in South Florida anymore. And your operating costs are much higher today than they were later. So that's why this new report that came out by AirDNA is hugely important for investors. Just look at where I'm at today, right? If you're familiar with the channel, you know that I am in my property in Georgia, where we're developing this property and we're trying to create a phenomenal couples escape or resort, like we want to call it. I'm going to touch more into that. But we're in its secondary market. We're in South Georgia, in a small town called Nashville, Georgia. So it's not a well-known area. But I firmly believe that because of the travel trends in which travelers are looking for a more unique and unique destinations, unique experiences, that we're going to be fine here. So if you're looking to get into the game, highly recommend that you start to look in the secondary markets. Now, next story I want to talk about is going to be a company called Savvy, formerly known as B&B Finder. They have introduced a real-time price comparison tool for direct bookings. I love this tool. I've been talking about direct bookings forever. If you are a traveler and you're looking to save money, the best way to save money on accommodations is through booking direct. Now, I've done tons of videos on this. I'm not going to dive deep into it, but B&B Finder, or now known as Savvy, is a good website for you to hop on so that you can see what's available and save money. I'm going to give you a comparison. I'm on the website right now. There's a 6-night stay in Phoenix, and on Savvy, that 6-night stay is listed for $2,339. On Airbnb, that same listing is at $2,889. That's a $550 difference, people, for that one-night stay. So the savings are substantial. So great hack for you guys if you're looking to save money on accommodations, especially if you like to stay at short-term rentals. That's a great website to get on. But again, I'll give you my travel hack. I always go on Airbnb. If I find a property that I like, then I Google that property and I try to locate the owner or the property management company, and I book direct to them so I can save on the service fees. Next, let's talk about air travel and United Airlines. There's a rumor that United Airlines is looking to merge with JetBlue. Now, a little bit of the background story with JetBlue. If you're not aware, JetBlue is going through some financial struggles. And they've been trying to merge with other airlines. For example, they try to buy or merge with Spirit. FCC squashed that, which I firmly believe was a mistake, but they squashed that, so they couldn't merge with them. They did a partnership with American Airlines that it has since dissolved. They're not in partnership with American Airlines anymore. And there was a rumor that United Airlines was going to be the company to merge with JetBlue. Now, the CEO has come out and said, no way, they're not doing that. In fact, He talked about their earnings. They saw a 64% profit increase in the fourth quarter of 2024. Where in contrast, JetBlue did not, and they actually had a loss in earnings. So for those of you that were hoping for this merger, sorry to tell you, it's only a rumor, and it appears not to be happening. Now, next story. Let's switch over to tourism, right? I'm going to read some of the stuff, so forgive me if I actually read it. But in tourism, specifically Spain continues to focus on trying to figure out how to handle the over-tourism issue that they have. And just like many cities, are looking to control the housing costs and the housing shortage that they have. Now, I'm not going to get on my soapbox like I have in prior videos about about the fact that they're blaming short-term rentals, and I don't think short-term rentals should be blamed because the numbers don't show it. The housing shortage and the affordability of housing in these major cities really have nothing to do with short-term rentals. As much as these politicians want to tell you that that's the fact, the numbers don't show that. And when you look at the percentage of short-term rentals and compared to housing, it's a small number. Anyway, let's move on. So, cities like Malaga have imposed restrictions for new holiday rentals in certain neighborhoods. Barcelona still plans to phase out short-term rentals altogether by 2028. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. There's been a lot of pushback against that, but be prepared for that. Let's go into a new country, right? I am planning to go to Greece in May of this year. So when I read this, it piqued my interest. So I want to pass on this information. And I'm going to read right off the tourism website. Greece tighten or restricts or creates stricter policy related to short-term rentals. Now, before this, I didn't know that Greece was one of the only countries right now in the Western European Union that prior to this had no regulations or no restrictions on short-term rentals. So again, if you follow me, you know that I am not totally against short-term rentals. I am totally against over-regulations and the heavy hand of government trying to over-regulate any industry, not just the short-term rental industry. Now, let's read what these stricter rules are. So now, starting January 1st of 2025, already happens in effect, properties must have, now this is interesting because I really don't know what they mean by this, but it says properties must have natural light and natural ventilation. Now, I'm going to read a little further down as to what they mean by that, because they kind of clarify it, but I didn't know that. I mean, clearly they wrote it because there's probably an issue with this, but that's a must-have. There's other things on their list that you must have. Must have air conditioning, must have smoke detectors, fire extinguisher, escape signs. The property must pass and have a certificate from a licensed electrician. It must have civil liability to cover accidents and damages. Must have a pest control certificate. Now, this I like this regulation. Now, I'm a little bit biased because I own a pest control company. But I firmly believe that this is one of the regulations that's necessary for people to have. Again, all of these regulations they talked about, I'm for. Everything that I just mentioned, all short-term rentals should follow and have. Now, does it have to be a law? And I don't necessarily think it does, but obviously it's necessary because obviously a lot of people in the short-term rental industry are not true professionals, and hopefully this helps in securing the safety and comfort of hosts when they book a short-term rental. In the video that I did that's going to air on Wednesday, I talk about this, Because one of the things that really hurt our industry is the lack of consistency, right? You can stay in one short-term rental today, and then next week stay another, and you're not gonna see, or the likelihood of finding consistency is low unless you're staying with the same company. Like if you stay with us, all of our properties across the board, you're going to find the same consistency, the same way we set up our beds, the same way we fold our towels, the same scent in the property. All of that is consistent through all our properties. But in the industry in general, in the short-term rental industry in general, that is not the case. So let's continue with Greece, right? The other thing that you need to be aware of is that they also have implemented and increased their taxes as it relates to tourism. So let's go right into their taxes. It's not a lot, people, but be aware that they are. So from April to October, now this is for any accommodation, whether it's a short-term rental or a hotel, you're looking to pay, or a daily tax of up to €8. Depending on how long you stay, that definitely can be significant. But for accommodations, that's what you're looking for, April through October, right? Now, I plan on going there in May, and I always tell people my favorite time of the year to travel to Europe is in May or in the fall. I like to go there in late September and October. So if you go in October, you are going to have to, May or October, any of these times, you are going to have to pay this tax. But in the winter months, you're going to have to pay up to €2 for daily for these accommodations. Again, not a major difference. Again, depends on your length of stay. For me, it's I usually go to Europe for 30 days. So $8 a day, it's not going to really hurt me. But it can hurt some people that are on a strict tight budget. Just be aware of that. If you travel there to Greece, that you're going to be paying more. But on the flip side, you're going to have a little bit more consistency in terms of accommodations and short-term rentals if you travel there. Now, there is a ripple effect. If you are a nomad, this extra tax will definitely affect you. Or digital nomad will definitely affect you. Or if you are a remote worker that likes to travel to different countries and stay there for a couple of months, this will affect you. Okay, and it's substantial for those particular types of travelers. All right, let's move on to the next story. The next story I want to cover is our new website. So let me share my screen because I'm super excited about our new website. We've made it much user-friendly. You can book your getaway directly on our website, pay on our website, where in the past it was a little difficult to do so. So let me just share this screen so you can see what our new website looks like. Boom. Share. Let me give you a better look. Bam. All right, guys. So this is our new website. As you can see from the tabs above, you can now pay. Click this tab to stay in touch with us. But what I like about the new website is its simplicity. It's really simple, easy to use. Whether you want to go on a cruise, a resort, take a tour, or go to our luxury villas. I did a whole series on our luxury villas. The properties that we have are really second to none. Phenomenal properties and beautiful destinations like the Amalfi Coast, like Tuscany, like Florence. I'm just specifically talking about Europe because those for me are where we have the best luxury properties at. but we also have beautiful luxury properties in the Caribbean. I talked about the one in Bermuda. It's a beautiful property in Bermuda, but it's here. Now, the other thing that I want you guys to be aware of is this, is our Win a Dream Vacation. We give away a $10,000 dream vacation on a monthly basis. All you have to do is enter. I highly recommend you do that. But here's some other inspirational stuff. In fact, let's watch our, I really like this video. I did it in the intro for some of you that logged on kind of late. Let me show this. Sorry about this. One quick second. I freaking love that video. Anyway, go to my website, play around with the website, check to see if there's something that piques your interest. If you want some personalized itineraries, DM me, send me a message. Tell me in the comments what you think about our new website after you play with it, or email me, DM me. But my beautiful people, that's going to be it for today. If you have any questions, please DM me, send me a text message. My number's on my website. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one.